dear friends, welcome to the program Careers Connect, a DPS Alumni Network. I'm Neelam Bedi Son, an HR trainer by profession. I'm into industry from last 20 years and I have my working presence in Delhi and Dubai. Considering the variety of career options that are overwhelming and even confusing, Careers Connect aims at to help students make an informed choice by facilitating their interaction with top-notch professionals in our 500 careers. The aim of this talk show is to understand the education required for these careers, the trials and tribulations these professionals underwent, and the sacrifices they made, and the net result of their career decision, even if made in different time, circumstances, and environments. Now I invite Mr. Rajiv Soni to please say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Career Connect. Basically, the talk show is about connecting with professionals who have spent over 20 to 40 years in their line, and we invite them to come and share their experiences, their trials and tribulations with a younger lot of people who may be a little confused or may want more information about the specific career. The details of what exams to take and the timings of those exams, all that is available on Google. But what is probably not available are specific experiences of specific professionals in their areas. So today we have Simrat Gulati, but before I say anything more, over back to Neelam Bedi.
Hi, today we have with us Mrs. Simrat Gulati, a dynamic, self-disciplined, committed, and a versatile personality in making. She has a schooling from Loreto Convent and Delhi Public School both, and is an economics bachelor's in economics from Lady Shri Ram College, LSR. She's also done a PG diploma in advertising and public relations from Indian Institute of Mass Communication in 1985. Her professional experience in the fields of advertising, PR, is with Linters, Housing and Urban Development Corporation, HUDCO, and ORG. Later, she moved into consultancy and teaching and has been a visiting faculty and academic advisor with institutions like IIMM, IIMC, CIC Delhi University, Jamia, Bharati Vidya Bhavan, IP University. She has been associated with ESCO and APJ for many years. She has attended various mid-career development causes like breast cancer, girl child, and blind people. Welcome, Simrat, to the show.
Hi, everyone. It's lovely to be here, and thank you for this warm welcome.
We really thank you for coming over for this program. Okay, Simrat, we start the program. You've spent 25 long years in advertising and mass communication, right? So tell us, what is the difference, basic difference between advertising and mass communication?
Okay. Mass communication is the root, is the wide field, and it has many sub areas under it, like journalism, filmmaking, photography, PR, and advertising. So actually, advertising is one part of mass communication, or one form of mass communication.
Brilliant.
And how it differentiates from others is that advertising is more of a commercial activity, whereas the others are in a little different field. And advertising is totally about strategy and investments and return on investments and all. So to that extent, it is a little different from the others, but they're all part of mass communication.
So they go hand in hand, that means.
They go hand in hand, and they're all subparts, and they all make up a total, which is mass communication.
Very nice. Okay, Simrat, what was your age when you initially started the struggle in the field of advertising in mass comm?
As happens with everybody, you complete your college, do your course, and by 22 and a half, you're into the profession. If you've taken the decision that you want to do it, unless you want to go in for some other studies or do anything else. Otherwise, that's what 22 plus, and we had started working.
Very nice, very nice.
That is what was.
Okay, your professional experience at top-notch organizations like Linters and ORG. How did you move into consultancy after this, the teaching part?
Consultancy and teaching, yes, teaching came to me by applying the very first rule of marketing, is wherever you see the need, wherever you see a gap, and you try and fill up that gap. Since I got married into the army, I was located in small towns where they didn't find qualified people to come and teach or to come and share their experience. And that is where I fitted in, because in
Very
smaller
nice.
towns you don't find these subjects or these qualifications.
Correct.
But and there are institutes there, they are affiliated to good universities and all. And so they kind of pulled me into this, and that's how I moved into this area.
That's remarkable. That's remarkable. Very nice. Okay, tell me something, Simrat. That do you remember your first class which you did, and how was it? How was the experience?
Now it sounds a little funny. At that time, yes, but one was very young, and the students, they were postgraduate students, so I think they were uh, equal in age or just about a little younger to me.
Correct.
And of course, they had a lot of respect and a lot of adoration for someone coming from Delhi and things like that. But yes, one didn't feel like that teacher and student relationship, because it was like, colleagues or peers who were wanting to know about the subject.
Yeah,
So
more like
that's how
friends.
it started.
Yeah, more like friends, right?
Pardon?
I said more like
Yes, more
friends.
like friend,
Yeah,
more like friend.
yeah.
And yes, it started from there, but then you realized over the years that no, now you need to show a little more seriousness. And if you have to teach them, then you have to be a little apart from them
Stern
in terms
also.
of keep that little, yes,
Yeah, little stern also.
little
Otherwise,
stern also. Yes,
they
yes.
take you for a ride, you know. They take you for a ride otherwise.
Yes, yes. So that formality has to be kept.
Yeah.
The distance has to be kept. Yes.
Okay, did you ever change your mind in 2, 3 years that you should go back to your industry world and not teach or something like that?
Uh, Not really, I wouldn't say a change of mind, but you do realize that the advertising or mass comm is a subject you're living with on a daily basis. So you have to keep yourself in touch
Correct.
with the latest happening and all. It's not
Yeah,
like an academic subject.
correct.
So for that reason, that's how consultancy or participating in all activities related to freelance work and things like
Hmm.
that, so that you're up to date with things that are happening, so that when you are talking in the classroom, you're bringing in practical
Correct.
examples, you're bringing
Correct.
in the world to them.
Correct.
So
The,
that is where it's not like a maths or a science where the theory doesn't change.
correct.
Here it is every day there is something new
Correct.
happening.
Uh, So the
So
live,
that's how it wasn't a change of mind.
presentations is a must.
Yes, and bringing in the world into the classroom. Why it is happening outside, you have to justify it in the classroom.
Correct. Correct.
They learn from that.
Okay.
So
Okay, Simrat, do you think there are special traits for this career in advertising and mass comm?
yes, definitely.
Okay.
Uh, Traits in those terms, you have to be fond of meeting people and knowing them and understanding them, because at the center of it, as we say, is the consumer, or we're planning everything around them. So
Hmm.
to understand human nature and what drives people, what appeals to them, what they don't like, and so in link to that, understanding cultures and variations in cultures and thinking and mindsets,
Very
that
nice.
is something which is very important for
Hmm.
mass communication and for advertising and marketing
Hmm.
in particular.
Very
So
nice.
that is one trait you have to have.
Okay. Is there any specialized exam for this?
Yes, if you want to enter the postgraduate studies, they're like your IMC or Jamia, or I mean any of these places, they have an entrance exam. But that entrance exam is not uh, a special subject as such. It is just looking at how you understand human nature, or what kind of writing skills you have, what kind of analytical skills you have, and how you can appreciate things and all. That is what is tested in the exam. And but yes, there is an entrance exam, or there is some kind of entrance for most places they'll have, and they'll have an interview, and they'll kind of like to talk to you and find out your interests and all. So
Okay.
that
Okay.
is there.
And what are the career options you think after you do this course? What are the career options?
uh, Career options have always been many, but mostly like you get, when we say we get into advertising, there are three major fields of advertising where you are equipped to handle this. One would be the client servicing and account planning is what we call it, where you are handling the client and the brand, and you're kind of planning for it and working on it on a day-to-day basis. So you're representing the agency and you're a go between the client and the agency. The second kind of place where you can go in an advertising agency itself is where you are in the creative department. Either you're writing the copy, that's the written word, or the dialogue or script or whatever words or whatever is to be written, or you're in the visualizing, where yes, you need experience in multimedia, graphics and fonts and all that, the fine arts and all. Third aspect is what we call media and media planning, which yes requires a little bit of a strength in maths and numbers and
Correct.
analyzing and ratio proportions
Correct.
and those aspects. So these are the main three broad fields in the agency. A lot of people can also join from the brand side or the client side, where you're representing the brand and coordinating with the agency.
Wow. Okay.
So if you have to get an ad made from the agency or get an ad made from somebody or plan out something, then you are the coordinator. So it would come as a corporate communication or a PR person or somebody, but so that is the other aspect. But everywhere you have to do that common study and then kind of branch out after you've understood the entire system and the interrelations. After that, you have all these options.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. What are the latest innovations in this field?
Yes, a lot has changed since we came into this field and now thing, and a lot is to do with your digitization.
Correct.
That has been a major influence. Digitization has changed the way people access media, where they're reading the newspaper, where they're watching. So not only on television and newspaper, but the same thing is now available on what we call the OTT platform.
Correct.
Over the top is what we say, or on the phone or on internet and this thing. So they are accessing media, they're accessing messages more with a more open mind, or with a time or this thing where they're interested in it. Unlike a television or a newspaper catches you maybe at the wrong time. So that is one innovation which has changed people's approach. So when they're watching an ad or whether they are more open, or they have a different approach to it.
Correct.
And along with it, because of this digitization, internet and things like that, shopping habits have changed.
Changed. Totally.
Online shopping and looking at things, browsing through things. Even the browsing of things is much more, because you may, if you have to go to a shop, you have to take out time and you have to, you know, kind of limited this thing, and you get embarrassed because of the salesman and things like that. Here you find people are free to
you can pick and choose whatever you want.
Yes, and spend as much time as you want. Nobody's observing you, nobody's looking at you, or you know, kind of asking you to hurry up or anything.
Correct, correct.
So
and
these
so many
changes,
sites available. And so many sites available.
So many sites. So many options. And another thing you could say, you know, you have this return policy, you can return it in 7 days if you don't like it.
Correct, if you don't like it.
You can't do that with a shopkeeper. So people have also now changed the way they are, you know, buying, the way they are selecting.
Correct.
And they're more adventurous.
Correct, correct.
And they like to experiment.
Correct, correct.
So
okay,
this has been major changes.
Yeah. Tell me, Simrat, how lucrative is this career?
As a youngster, no, it's very disappointing initially for people. Till today, the same trend exists that you join as an intern. Most of the time, that internship is not paid. Even if they pay, it's
very low, very low. Yes.
Yes, a pittance, and that creep remains. But you must understand that because of your creativity and intense nature of this job, you have to show that you can last out.
Correct.
So once you've gone through this phase or you proved yourself, then of course there are
you
people.
Get the returns. Yes. Then you get,
then
I
you
think
get the return.
initial
Yeah.
years are very struggling, very struggling.
Lot of struggle, a lot of work, and the returns are not there.
Yeah,
That is
correct,
where it's a little disappointing for people. But
correct,
if you last out, then the world is at your feet.
correct, correct. Okay, tell me, Simrat, what are your greatest accomplishments as a consultant also, and as a teacher also?
Uh, See, as a teacher, the greatest accomplishment uh, is when you see your students over so many years are now maybe heading an agency or heading brands, and uh, you're kind of applying whatever you taught them, and that's what has been part of their success, or they've achieved that. So those, I think I count those as accomplishments, because they have reached places because of the foundation they got. As a consultant, तो brands आती हैं जाती हैं, so much happens. I wouldn't really call that an accomplishment, but yes, seeing your own seeds grow and bloom,
Yeah,
that is a major
correct, correct.
accomplishment.
That's a great feeling, I think. That's a very, very great feeling.
Yes, yes, and that really kind of gives you happiness.
Happiness.
And then you have some students who would advise their juniors that please attend these classes, otherwise you're going to miss out on something. So those kind of compliments actually make you feel that yes, you've achieved something.
Correct, correct.
That is
Okay, what should a mass comm student or a journalist, do to stay relevant in the modern job market?
uh, the very basic, which we see a lot of students are not in the habit of, is keeping themselves updated with news and what is
Very
happening
important.
around.
Yes.
It's very important, but most of them, they consider themselves only, they want to appear as a face, as an anchor, but what all goes behind it, the level of knowledge you need to have, the whole bank of information that you need to have. So that is something mass comm students need to always update and get into the habit of collecting and keeping your eyes and ears open.
Hmm.
That is the most important trait they should have and what they should cultivate. And now, of course, with digitization, digital media, social media, these new things, these also you have to keep yourself alert
Updated,
about and keep
updated
yourself
all the time.
updated and involved in it also. Because you'll find people, no, I don't want to go on Facebook, or I don't want to. There is no don't. You have to be part of it. And
Right.
yes, you may not be active, but you have to know what it is, because that's your bread and butter.
Correct, correct.
So
Okay, how do you see this career in these COVID-19 days? Do you think it's going to prosper? Parents would like to have their children work on this career, or even students would like to go in for this career?
Uh, yes, because COVID-19 biggest effect it has had is that work from home thing, which worked well for people who are already in this field and all. But newer people, or the people who just completed their qualifications, were trying to look for openings and all, they've had a bit of a problem, because firstly, no one was hiring, no new hiring was happening. Secondly, till they don't meet you face to face, or they don't look at your work and kind of, they are unable to evaluate you as a future employee or even as an intern. So a lot of people, after completing their studies, were unable to find the appropriate openings, and it's taking them time to even look for internships, and you know that face to face learning, even from your boss, even from your seniors, that is not happening. So that way, yes, it is, but I think another few months and we'll get over with this phase of
I
being
think I think not once. People are saying it's going to be year, minimum year, 1 year to actually come back to normalcy. That's what they say.
but for interns, and even people are looking now for hands, working hands and things like that. So a little bit things are opening up that way. Yes, coming back to absolute normal, yes, may take up to a year. But we see changes happening, that people are now looking for interns, looking for youngsters, willing to teach them, willing to kind of which in between for these 3-4 months, it was a total stop. And it was very disappointing for a lot of people at that stage.
Simran. Now, like any other
Huh.
career option, studying mass comm too has its own positives as well as a flip side, highs and lows. What do you have to say on this?
Uh, yes, highs and lows. Yes, like what one we discussed was the remuneration is one of the lows, and initially it disappoints people because I see a lot of students they come with their dream that I'll be seen on TV or I'll be an anchor or I'll be a radio jockey. It doesn't happen instantly. It's years and years of work. So that is one of the lows initially, that you don't get that glamour comes in much later. And the highs, of course, is that it's a very intensive and there is no structure to this. So it's a fun kind of a life. And if you are fond of that irregularities and कभी बहुत काम है कभी नहीं है कभी हाँ हंसते खेलते हो रहा है काम and all, that is one of the highs which
Very nice.
That is mass comm's speciality.
So we come to the end of the program, Simrat, and all I can say about you is that to you, the success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Motivation is what you got you and your life started. Habits is what kept you going in life. So I really thank you for coming here and being a part of the program. And I now open the forum to the audience if audience would like to ask some questions to you. Yeah, over to Deka
Thanks
and
a lot,
Rajiv. Yeah, it has been a pleasure having you on board.
It's been lovely being with you here. It's nice sharing my experiences, and I hope I can get more students to come and talk.
Thank you. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
It was very interesting.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
this is a different field from what we usually do, a specialized field. So I think a lot of people, the young generation people, should come into this field more. I think in India right now there are a lot of prospects with so many multinational companies coming in.
Definitely, there is a lot of scope and a lot of growth happening, and but it's an intensive field, so people have
Yes.
to get into it and remain there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Rajiv
Thank you.
has a question. Rajiv has a question. Yeah, Rajiv.
Yeah, Simrat, so every profession has its duties and responsibilities and obligations. Of course, they have also, their benefits. Today, what we are seeing in some parts of the country is that people who are into communication, that is, they are communicating via either, the television or through the YouTube or through other aspects. It is being said, it is being construed that they are not fulfilling their obligations. So what would you say is responsible communication to the masses? What would you say are the irresponsible communication types to the masses? And are there any checkpoints or checklists which one should adhere to in the profession of mass communication and the aspects of mass communication?
Yes, it's a vast topic, and at the moment a very relevant one also. Well, everywhere, whether it's advertising or journalism or filmmaking, every place has a code of conduct or a code of ethics existing, and we are always in the process of refining it or developing it also. I mean, in stages we are moving towards a stricter code as such. So that exists, and that is the responsibility of a mass comm person to follow it, and because it has things like not upsetting anyone's personal views, not upsetting political views. I mean, those kind of things are laid down, what is allowed, what is not allowed, even in advertising, what you're allowed to advertise, what you're not allowed to advertise. But what is happening is people are for commercial reasons at times they forget the code, or they want to avoid the code, or that sense of responsibility. And commercial reasons, as we all would know, is only the return on investment, wherever they are looking for better profits. So they do lose their sense of responsibility, and it is sad. And but though, as I said, it's a code of ethics, laws as yet are not 100% in place. So we find that's how people are able to find loopholes. एंड वो जो हमारा हिंदुस्तान का जो एक टर्म है ना, जुगाड़ कर लेते हैं, तो किसी जुगाड़ से people do manage to circumvent the whole process. But yes, for society, there are definitely a lot of regulations in place if a responsible person would want to follow them.
So, which actually brings me to the next part of the question. We've talked about what kind of people should look at this profession. I have a question for you, Simrat. What kind of people should not enter into this profession?
Yeah, good one. Yeah.
Okay. One who wants a very regular, well-set life, no, that cannot happen in this profession. And secondly, one who's very much into routine. When I say routine, it's, I learn these few things and I kind of apply it, and that's where I end. Here, every day is a new day. Every day you're handling a new subject. You have to have a very wide knowledge base, whether it is arts or science or maths or sociology, or you have to have as much of exposure as possible, and be fond of traveling, knowing people, asking questions, those kind of things. So if you say somebody who is wanting to just get into a mold and just carry on with that kind of a person cannot fit into this field in
And
any
the
of these
reading
fields.
and Simrat, the reading and the writing skills very important. Person is not,
Yes.
yeah.
That is, if somebody is not fond of writing, not fond of reading, and reading your usual newspapers and daily things, then you're not meant for this profession, because on an everyday basis you have to be
Correct.
updated, you have to know the latest, and everything has a relevance and everything doesn't have a relevance. मतलब वो क्या चीज कहाँ पे fit हो रही है, वो समझने का एक background चाहिए है. So it's unlike a 10 to 5 job, and उस किस्म की सोच जो होती है ना 10 to 5 job वाली सोच, वो नहीं यहाँ पे थी, वो नहीं चल सकती.
Okay, Ranveer, any question from your side, my dear? Can't hear. Can't hear. Can't hear. There's a problem. Okay, it has been a wonderful experience, Simrat, having you over for this program. Thank you so much for coming here. And thank you, Jeka, also. And thank you, Ranveer. Though you cannot hear us, but still we are thanking you for it. So bye-bye, Simran. Thank you very much for coming. Simran,
thanks
bye-bye.
for the whole thing. It's been a lovely time here.
So
all the best.
Thank you very much. Shabba khair. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.